Hello everyone, my name is Nitin Gupta and I am here to represent my dashboard on my uh, project of uh, on my project of supply chain management system for the key insights. So in this we basically discuss the supply chain issues and its solutions. So moving on to our dashboard, in first page we have the first KPI, which is of total order, and we have created and measure for this, and the it can be calculated by the function distinct count on purchase order and sales order. Now moving on to our second KPI, which is basically the total item value, and it is also in terms of a measure, and we have calculated it by using the sum of line item values. Now we have our next KPI, which is based on the total quantity, which we can be calculate using the sum of line item quantity. Now our next KPI is of on-time delivery percentage, which we have created another measure, and its value can be calculated by the division of on-time deliveries by total orders. And for the on-time delivery, we have created a measure to calculate the on-time deliveries, which is using the function calculate, and then we have inner function which is distinct count of purchase order and sales order, and we have filtered it by the our data set, and inside our data sets we have put the condition that delivery to client date should be less than or equal to the scheduled delivery date because of on time delivery. So for on time delivery we should have scheduled delivery date must be greater than or equal to the delivery to client date, because if delivery to client date is greater means the delivery is delayed, and then we apply the on time delivery. On time delivery function, which we calculate by dividing the on time delivery by total order. Now our next KPI is of average cost per order, and it is basically the average of the cost per order, and which we have created a measure. So we have in this average cost per order, we have divided the total supply chain cost with total orders we have. And for the total supply chain cost, we have created a measure of total cost, which is the sum of the line item value and the freight cost and the line item insurance in US dollars. So the average cost per order is basically the division of this total supply chain cost, that is total cost measured by the total number of orders, and the total supply chain cost is here we can see that it is similar. of what we have created is total cost. Now, our next KPI and the average cost per order is one of the most proficient indicator of what is the average cost of or on per order we are putting or what we are getting. Now, our next KPI is of the total freight cost because freight cost is one of the most efficient factor in transportation of uh, our products, and it is the sum of total uh, and we for this we have created a measure, and it is the measure is the sum of freight cost in US dollars. Now, and, and our next KPI is one of the most important factor, which is average delivery delay, because delivery delay is one of the most important part of any logistical supplies. And average we calculate average delays so that we can calculate on every individual because basically the average delay is the delivery delay on each component on an average amount. So we take the average of delivery delays in days. Now moving on to our first visual, which is the count of the purchase order and sales order by delivery status. And here we can see that we have 9.14K orders on time and only 1.19K order not on time. So we have nearly 88.5 percentage order on time and 11.5% orders not on time. So most of our orders are not delayed and are delivered on time. Now, our next visual is of the total order by our shipment modes. As we can see that the most of the shipments are made by air. That is nearly 3973. That are 3973, and next our truck which is 1364 odd total orders. Then we have air charter through which we have 482 orders, and not allowed means not allowed option. Through this mode we have only 220 orders, and through ocean mode we have 194 orders. So we can see from this visual that the most used mode by us is air, and the least used is ocean. So we should prefer air due to its reliability issue, reliabilities, and it is more efficient mode of transportation for our shipments. And then we have truck. Now moving on to our next page, we have the visuals. The first visual is of sum of average delivery delays by country. So for this, I have to expand my visual, and we can see that the average delivery delay. Average delivery delay, as we have seen in the page one, is one of the most important factors in the shipment of goods. So here we can see that the most efficient country in average delivery delay is Belize, then Guinea, then Burkina Faso. And the least efficient in this are Benin, Libya, and Lebanon. So the shipment in these countries are very difficult, while it is very much easier in Belize, Guinea, and Burkina Faso, and Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan. While from Afghanistan to onward to Benin, we have very difficult transportation method. Now, decreasing its size, we move on to our next visual, that is of late deliveries by vendor. So, late deliveries by vendor. So here we can say that the most late deliveries are by Trinity Biotech, and the least late deliveries are by SCMS from RDC, Arvindo Pharma, and Organics Limited in their respective orders. So the most used logistical when supplies and by SCMS by SCMS from RDC is one of the most preferable vendor. Then we have Arvindo Pharma, and then we have Organics Limited. Now we have our next visual is of total order by year and that delivery status. In 2006, we can say that we have least orders, but almost all are delivered on time. That are 51. Then in 2007, we have increased in number of orders, but on-time orders also increases as well as late orders are also come in picture. So in 2007, we have 438 orders, 449 orders in total, and we have 438 on time and 11 not on time. So our next year is 2010. Next year is 2009. In this year, we have a rapid growth in our total orders. That is nearly seven. That are 795, and the total orders delivered on time are 778, and 27 are not delivered on time. So here we have on-time delivery percentage all got increased, while the on-time late delays all decreases, percentage decreases. Moving on to our next year, which is 2010, we have overall increase in number of total deliveries that are 818, but we have also increased in number of late deliveries as well as on-time deliveries, but number of late delivery increases very much, while number of on-time delivery decreases as compared to previous year. We have decreased in on-time deliveries by 54, while we have increased in late deliveries by 57. So we have decreased in on-time delivery percentage in 2010. And then moving on to our next year, in 2011, we have more late deliveries that reach up to a maximum of 161, and on-time deliveries decreases to 586. Now, this is the one of the most crucial year in our supply chain, and it is one of the destructive year. And in this year, we have decreased in on-time delivery percentage. Now, moving on to our next year, that is 2012. We have increased very much increase in our on-time delivery percentage due to very much increase in on-time deliveries, which reaches to 768, being the second highest after 778 that are in 2009. So, and we have late deliveries decreases to 57 from 161, which is the highest in 2011. Now it has decreases to 57 only. So we have increased very much increase in on-time delivery percentage. Now, moving on to our next year, we have um, total deliveries not increased but decreased, and we have increased in late delivery by 50. That it reaches to 107, while we have a uh, very sharp decline in on-time deliveries from 768 to 641, nearly 127 on-time delivery start decrease. So we have very much decrease in total deliveries as well as in on-time delivery. So at overall on-time delivery percentage decreases. And in 2014 we have the second highest late deliveries, that is 160 after 161 in 2011. So we are in wo- in 2014 we have worst on-time delivery percentage. So moving on to our next page, we have some of for our first visual is some of freight cost with some sum of line item quantity by weight in kilogram. So here we can see that comparing for similar values of weight. In this we have weight in kilogram by shipment mode in air is 1003 kgs, and by truck is also 1013 kgs. But we have very much less freight cost by truck as compared to air. And the line item quantity is nearly half of half of the line sum of line item quantity in truck. So from here we can conclude that the transportation by truck is less expensive, can supply more line item quantity, and are also efficiently carries equalized weight as respect to air. And for comparison of and truck and shipment mode not allowed. We have similar weight in kilogram, that is 1 kg, and we have more value not allowed option, freight cost, that is nearly 9,300 9,800 rupees, while for truck it is it is 6,013 rupees only, and we have sum of line quantity item is 46, while for the sum of line item quantity in not allowed option is 2. So we can supply. So from here, from this scatter plot, we can conclude that truck is one of the most efficient in terms of amount to be paid as well as in transportation of line item quantity in a similar weight by air not allowed and other options. And by air charter and truck, we can see that both have same weight in kilogram, that is 1023 kgs. And by air charter, we have 15,000 rupees, and by truck, we have 14,400 rupees. So here we can see that truck is more efficient than air charter. Now moving on to our next visual, we have total cost by vendor. And as we can see that here also we can see that most the total cost by SEMS from RDC is highest, and uh, uh, Organic Limited is somehow behind, and Arvindo Pharma is much behind. So HCMS from RDC is one of the most preferred vendor by us. Then we have Organics Limited in terms of amount, and then we have Arvindo Pharma Limited. So we can see that Arvindo Pharma being one of the top vendors in terms of uh, late deliveries and मतलब means we have on time deliveries by SCMS from RDC in very much amount, and as well as it bears most of the cost to us. While Arvindo Pharma being the second in faster deliveries but lag behind in total amount. So the total cost by our shipment modes. We have most of the cost in our air mode, as we preferred air mode in most of the situation. Then we have no, not very much behind, but truck and least least preferable here is not allowed option or any option. And after truck we have air charter, and then we have ocean mode. So we can conclude that most of our shipment is done by air, and it is below and it is above $0.6 billion, nearly $0.67 billion, which is very much amount. Then we have $0.6 billion by truck, and then we have $0.25 billion by air charter, and $0.12 billion by ocean, and point 0.04 billion by not allowed shipment mode. Now moving on to our next visual, we have total quantity by product group. We have ARV group which has total quantity very much high. Then we have HRDT very much low, and nearly very low by ACT, ANTM and MRDT. Now, uh, so we have the most preferred product group is by total quantities we have is ARV, and somehow from ARV after ARV we can prefer HRDT and can't prefer SAT, ANTM and MRDT. Now moving on to our next visual, we have the different total item value by our brands. The first brand is generic, and it is very much total item values, which concludes most of the parts. Then we have determine, then we have alluvia, and then we have Truveda, and then we have Unigod, and then we have Violin and Stack Pack, and very much low quantity in Atripla, Colloidal Gold, and Ziazen brands. And we also have one of the. So from here we can conclude that generic medicine, uh, generic, we should focus on our generic brands and then on determined brand, then Elvia, then Truveda. And so very little on is in place of Truveda, we should focus on Unigold also. And after Unigold, we can focus on Biolin. After Berlin and Stack Pack, the focus should be decreased and we should focus on this seven brands only. Now moving on to our next visual, we have a we have a slicer which is based on this, and from this slicer we can visualize which brands are preferable in which countries by, and also the product, we in this slicer we have vendor, shipment mode, product group, and deliver to client date. So we can analyze all the necessary points related to our brand through this slicer. And here we can see that in Burkina Faso we have the product group which is preferable is ARV, and and it's and the top and the average delivery delays is minus 6.202 and 6.02, and the total average delivery delay is 12.5, and the total quantity shipped in this country is 165, and the total orders taken by are Abide Logistics and Hetero Labs, and they are equally in number, that are 1 in 1, and the total orders are 2. And also we can see of for Afghanistan, we have ANTM as the only product group with generic brand items are required, and the average delivery delays is 6.02 by Amstel Pharma PV and 12.05 by IMREF PV, and the total average delivery delay is minus 18.07 in Afghanistan. So we have total orders here in Afghanistan is are 26 and 89 respectively, that are total 115, and total orders are 2. So now we can